flow divider install. We've got the flow divider mounted on the wall. It's being driven by a typical pump, 5100 series 3/8 plunger, regular fuel gas pressure, approximately 30 psi. We have the divider injecting into the flow T at approximately 450 pounds, and also into the flow line at approximately the same pressure. We've made sure that we've bled off all the lines before we do a startup. This unit is already in operation and has been operating since '06. Started off with fluid with injection levels of approximately 1,000 gallons a month. So it's been running non-stop since that time. This divider is already set up, so what we're going to do is just back it off and do a typical setup. So right now what we're going to do is back our throttle valves out, taking the load off of the pump. We're doing one side at a time. We have 3 gauges on the divider, and the one in the back is for pump pressure, and the other 2 are discharge gauges. Then downstream from the discharge gauge and from the throttle valve, we have a needle valve. And downstream of the needle valve, we have a check valve at your injection point. Now make sure all that your lines are bled off, because this is a hydraulic component, and if there's any air or gas in the body or in the lines up to the discharge check, the unit will not set up properly. So we've already done that. Now what we're going to do is just demonstrate to you how to do a setup on the throttle valves. Now I'm just going to show you the discharges on our gauges, and then the gauge in the back is for pump pressure. So what we're going to do is set up one throttle valve at a time. So we're going to block one side, then we're going to set up the opposing throttle valve. So what we're going to do is turn the throttle valve in until our pump pressure comes up to at least 20% higher than the highest discharge. So we're starting off at around that 450 mark, so we're going to turning this throttle valve in until our pump gauge, there we have it, reads up to, in this case we'll go to approximately 900 pounds. Now that throttle valve is set. Now if we want a flow rate of 50-50 split, basically, what we're going to do is now unblock this side, open that side up, block the one that we just set. Now we're going to turn this throttle valve in until again our pump gauge reads 900 pounds. And that sound that you're hearing is actually the valve itself giving a small screech. Okay, now that we've set that throttle valve, now we're going to open up the discharge needle valve, both discharge gauges, and will then drop down to whatever discharge pressure is on each side. You can see your pump gauge is pulsing, which is causing a differential pressure across our block. Now our unit is set up. We're ready to check flow rate. Now this can be done maybe once a week, once a month, every day, whenever somebody has come into an operations has come in to check flow rates. So now to check to see how much volume we have going to each port, simply block the needle valve downstream of your gauge and watch the build on your on your gauge. Now he's turning the needle valve in, blocking that side. Now we'll get a build. Now the build on that gauge is up to approximately 900 psi. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side, turn the needle valve in, and now that our needle valve is in, now you're going to see a build of 800 psi. So this then means that we have more volume going to the 900 pound side than the 800 pound side. So that will give you a ratio. So now to increase, let's say we want a 50-50 split, to increase the flow to the side that we just checked, the one that's building to 800 pounds, you have two ways of doing it. Either open up the throttle valve on that side or turn the opposite one in slightly. That either way will cause a flow increase to the 800 pound side. So what we're going to do here is turn in the opposing one slightly. And remember, all your settings make very, very slight because it's hydraulics, and wait for a reaction time. Now that we've turned that one in about 1/8 of a turn, you can see we're building up to just about 900 pounds. Okay, we're going to go back, check the opposite side. What you do on one side affects the opposite side inversely. And on this side, we're at 900 pounds. That gives you a flow split of 50-50. Now this unit has been in operation for over 3 years, and it hasn't been serviced to this date, and it's been running non-stop. So they're very durable and very long life on them, and extremely low maintenance. And that's about it. Thank you for your time.